Once, an engine small and free was soon led towards agony. He puffed into his shed and was tucked up in bed and was... was never seen or heard from again. One cool autumn evening, Thomas, Oliver and Diesel were working up in the yards on Edward's branch line. Percy puffed up one of the post trucks, but he looked very scared.
Everything all right, Percy? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I think I did, Diesel. Or at least heard.
Heard? What do you mean, heard?
Well, I was collecting my post trucks for Knapford sidings when I heard a whistle. And it was one I'd never heard before. But even more to the point, it was coming from the lead mines.
But that's not possible, Percy. Those mines have been closed for years.
Well, that's what I thought. But then I heard a faint chuffing sound, which apparently caused Roger to go white as a sheet, as he kept muttering the number 13.
13?!
Diesel's shout made the engines jump.
Oh my! Diesel, are you okay?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Well, okay then. Anyway, Percy, you'd better head on to the docks. I'll meet you later on with my post trucks, and I can help you then.
You better take extra methods tonight, Thomas. There's meant to be fog tonight.
Oh, don't worry. We're already braced for the extra lamp, because my driver told me the fog was going to get worse tonight. And actually, for once, he's actually been useful and taken proper precautions. Thanks for that, Thomas. Well, in fairness, buddy, you do have a little bit of a history. Need I remind you of the time when you helped out with Henry a few years ago, when you took him swimming with the flying kipper? Yes, thank you. Let's just get a move on, shall we? And Thomas puffed away. Just then, Edward, who had been at the station with the passenger train, puffed up alongside the entrance.
Diesel, what was that all about?
What was what all about?
You getting worked up all over the number 13. I know 13 is normally associated with bad luck, but we all make our own luck. So what's going on?
Okay. Well, I know a story from the workmen concerning the 13th engine. Many years ago, there was a tank engine who was based off an older design of the class that Percy was based on. From many years ago, it was just around the time before James arrived on Sodor. He primarily worked on the line that now makes up Thomas's branch line. And one night, he was tucked up in his shed when suddenly two obnoxious boys... well, let's just say they did something horrible to him. All I know is it involved acid pellets. Now his ghost still wanders the line and takes great delight in bringing pain to all engines, because he was never recovered from his shed, and was just abandoned for the rest of time.
Diesel, are you sure this ain't just the workman's tall tales again?
I thought that at first, but I don't know for some reason. My sight is feeling a slight tremor around the story, and I'm telling you there's something strange going on here.
Well, when you get the Ghostbusters together, let me know. I'd love to be in the theme song.
And Edward chortled away, leaving a terrified Diesel who sat pondering. But Oliver was cross.
Edward shouldn't laugh about stuff like that. How many times have we laughed about paranormal stuff and then end up in some flipping horror story? It seems like the writers just like scaring the steam out of us.
Language, Oliver, and stick to the script. Something tells me the next 48 hours are going to be very long. Sure enough, Thomas was right. The fog came and lay thick along the line. It made the countryside look very spooky. But Thomas wasn't worried. 2 lamps on hold, I'll be all right. I'll reach my destination in plenty of time. But as he carried on, Thomas couldn't help but feel more and more nervous. We should be at Knapford by now. What's gone wrong? Suddenly, Thomas turned around the corner. Hang on. We don't need to turn a bend to get back to Knapford. It's all straight from Edward's branch line. You're right there, Thomas. We better rest until the fog clears. Suddenly, a whistle rang out through the air. What was that? The wind? I hope. Let's try and puff on, see if we can find where we are, Thomas. Come on. Suddenly, Thomas puffed up to what looked like a tunnel. Oh, I'm telling you, something does not feel right here. I suppose the sensible thing right now would be to turn back and ignore this mysterious tunnel. But then again, if I do that, that would just be boring, and you guys wouldn't get a story. So Thomas puffed slowly into the tunnel. His lamp shone bright in the dark, and he fought bravely on. Suddenly, he emerged onto a site, and he was shocked by what he saw. He found there was all old mine workings. Trucks were sitting off the rails, and a smell of musk hung in the air. How long has this been here? I've no idea, Thomas. I thought this had all been destroyed. I think we must be at the old lead mine. What was that noise? That's probably just the rails groaning, because they haven't been used for a long time. Rails that seem to puff as well. Suddenly, Thomas saw something in the mist, and a low chuffing sound filled the air. What is that? I'm very scared. Who are you?
Your voice sounds familiar. Were you the one who caused me this pain?
I'm Thomas. I swear we have never met before.
Thomas, as in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
Ah, yes. They have told me about you.
They? Who's they?
The voices. I would be very careful, Thomas. The prophecy is almost upon us.
Prophecy? I've never heard of a prophecy. What's the prophecy?
A time is approaching for you. The boss especially. The one who waits in the red glow of the smelter's yard. His wait is almost through. But I know how impatient he gets. So he said for me to come back and take care of his plans. But you engines make me sick. Puffing around day after day. You should all be scrapped. Especially for what you allowed to happen to me. But Thomas, what I have against you is personal. You weren't there for him when he died and he wanted you.
Wait, when who died?
I've had enough. You better run, Thomas. Because I feel like you will need a head start to get away from me.
Help! Derek, Douglas and Oliver were waiting in Knapford. Ollie, have you seen Thomas? He should have left with the post train ages ago.
I thought he had left ages ago. He's not been seen since we were shunting this afternoon.
Suddenly, they heard Thomas's whistle. And Thomas puffed so quickly into Knapford, he bumped hard into the post trucks. Whew, gosh sakes, Thomas, you're right. Ghost.
Ghost? Thomas, what on earth are you going on about?
That story Diesel was on about. He was right. There's a ghost down in the old lead mines. It spoke to me, talking about some sort of prophecy for me, regarding something called the Smelter's Guard, and it...
Thomas, you need to go. Go back to the sheds and stay there.
Derek, please, I'm already scared enough. What's going on?
Don't talk back, just move! Oliver, take the post train on your goods train tonight, and me and Douglas will split the midnight goods.
Derek, didn't you think you're taking this a bit? Derek shot Douglas a glare. Yeah, of course. We'll take the goods. Thomas, just go now, do what he says.
Okay, whilst you sort that stuff out, I'm going to find Edward.
And Derek raced out of the yards. What was all that about? Ugh, don't ask questions, Thomas. Derek's been acting strange for a while now. I'm sorry, but there is something strange going on here. Meanwhile, Edward was just returning to Wellsworth after taking the last branch line train up the line.
Finally. I can go back to the sheds.
Edward! Edward!
Audrey, preserve us! Derek? What's all the commotion?
It's Thomas. He knows the prophecy.
Follow me. We need to find Diesel.
Meanwhile, Thomas was back at Tidmouth Sheds. He was still thinking about what 13 had said. I don't understand. Who was I not there for? I've been there for all my friends. Whoa! What was...
Thomas, you okay?
It's just you, Percy.
Of course it is. Who do you think it was, Father Christmas?
Percy, I need you to listen. I have something big to tell you. You know the ghost story you told us about? It's true.
You saw it?
Yes, I did. It's an engine who's just literally called number 13. And believe me, it is all too real.
What are you going to do?
Well, all I know is I am not moving from this spot until morning.
But who's going to help me with the post tonight?
Derek has arranged for Donald to do it with you. Now please, Percy. I just want to go to sleep and forget this whole ordeal. And that's just what Thomas did.
Stupid Thomas. There are no demons here. Anyway, it's still ages till Halloween, so we're safe for a little bit longer. If you want to get out of work, just bloomin' well say so. Oh, ha ha ha. Real funny, guys. Don't worry, we'll oil you up at the next station.
That wasn't us, Percy.
Well, who was it then? Mr. Nobody? Okay. This is totally not weird at all. What was that?
Percy.
Who's there?
Tell Thomas. Tell Thomas.
Tell him what?
Tell him. The one who waits will see him soon. So long, little Percy. Tell him.
Help!
Thomas will soon get what's coming to him. But if the Master Dean's plans must be advanced then, I guess that's up to me to carry out the plans.